All right, first and foremost, I've been reading everybody's feedback on my other YouTube channel, The Political Game Show. And, we had our first season 1, episode 1, which I released Sunday. We did it on Saturday night. It was great. Had a great time. The contestants had a great time. I'm reading all your comments, and I'm going to make a couple of changes to start with next week. So that's good. That's cool. I'm going to open up the next window of contestants for this week. Sometime early this week, Tuesday or Wednesday maybe, I'll open it up for new contestants to try to get on the show. So that was cool. Now, I went out and bought this today. I'm going to get to an interesting story in a second, but I went out and got this baby today. Samson Stage PX-D1. As you can see, this little mic on my mouth. Problem I was having was I have this little, which is a nice Plantronics Bluetooth headset for one ear and a mic. I also have what I was actually given both of these by a lady that I've fixed her computer a few times, and she works at Plantronics. This is another nice Plantronics headset with the mic. The problem is, even with either of these, and these are pretty high-end stuff. Again, I was giving it for free, so I'll use it, but I wouldn't spend the money on it, to tell you the truth. But this earpiece, both of these, even when I do this video, like right now, you hear my voice, the way it sounds. I sound like I'm on a cell phone when I use this or the one I just showed you. The one I normally use is actually a Yeti. I think it's called a Yeti Blue. This baby has very good quality. This is what I always use when I do my YouTube videos. Right this second, I'm actually using this little mic you see on my face, which is this wireless deal, and it has a USB deal that plugs in, obviously, with the USB port. It's wireless. This communicates with that, and I've been testing this today, playing around a little bit, and I think my voice sounds pretty darn good on here, and that's what I wanted for the political game show. I was actually using that Yeti mic from a few feet away, and you can tell the difference when I'm not, when it's not 6 inches away from my face or my mouth. So I wanted something I could clip onto my belt or the back of my pants or whatever, do the game show. So for that reason, I'm doing this video with it, just to test, some quality and that sort of thing. Having said that, this is pretty interesting. How the old saying goes, nothing happens by chance, like certain things happen in your life or your whatever, not coincidental, that sort of thing. I talked to a guy Saturday that has an amazing, interesting story. He's a little old, well, a bit older than I am. And he went on to tell me, essentially he was a federal corrections officer. And he says, I always hear you talking about the club and stuff. And he's like, I want to give you a perspective of what it's like on the inside of, the chain of command and some things that I had to deal with. This guy actually has some famed notoriety for blowing the whistle. And I listened to his story. It was pretty darn interesting. We talked for like 2.5 hours. And I'm not mentioning his name, not mentioning what he did, but as far as the whistleblowing or his career or anything else, he's retired now. But we had a great conversation. Two guys like-minded. We're on the same page. It's so nice to be able to talk to somebody when in our daily lives ain't hardly no one to talk to. No one wants to hear it, or they just, I don't have time for that, Or you will have time for it when it goes down. You're going to be coming to me, and then I'm going to tell you, go piss off. Sorry about your luck. So anyways, that was cool. We did then I did the game show later that evening. He was not one of the contestants, by the way. So then Sunday comes, and actually it was Saturday. A female reaches out to me through my website. It says, well, I'll kind of read it to you. Hang on. Somewhat. I have someone who must remain anonymous, however, is directly connected to the top. I used to do a show. But she doesn't anymore, and hasn't for a long time. And essentially a faceless interview. You know, whether I don't know if I'm gonna talk to this person on the phone or he is an actor. I think it's a he. It might be a she. I don't know. He or she. This lady's a she, but the connection, he or she. I'm not quite sure yet, but for all intents and purposes, I'll just say it's a he right now. But first of all, she said, because I talked to her today, which is Sunday. She used to have a real radio show, not a YouTube Jsnip4 or anything, like a real type of radio show. Way long time ago. Way before I was even had a clue as to all the stuff here. So I'm talking way before I even started trying to wake up. And she was telling me how, you know, you say something on your show, and next thing you know, the advertisers are complaining to the radio station if you don't pull that or you make them restate what they said. And I think she was telling me they wanted her to redo like a complete show she did and basically lie to make the particular person she was talking about look good or their company or whatever it was. She's like, no, I'm not doing it. She still has a broadcast license. She was telling me she still has it. But she says, I haven't done it in a long time. I'm not getting back into it. I'm not going to. She said, however, over the years and over time, you know, when I was into this, I've made kind of a friend. And this friend, which again, I'm going to say is a he for the purpose of this, my own YouTube video to you. She made friends with this guy. And it reminded me of a Lindsey Williams type situation where he has an elite friend who then feeds him stuff. You can say this, you can do that, but don't talk about this one. Okay, no problem. He then comes out. Oh, by the way, the price of oil is going to go up to $150 a barrel. Oh, you're crazy. And it does. While it's at 150. Oh, I've also talked to my friend again. My friend says it's going down to 50. Oh my God, you're out of your mind. It's not going down. And then it went down. That kind of thing. So she says this particular person, I don't know if they've been given the okay to speak or they're deciding on themselves it's time to speak, but they want to get some messages out to the masses. And she said, since she doesn't do it anymore, they were asking her, who do you recommend? And they threw some names, some names you would actually recognize on YouTube of people that maybe this person should be interviewed by, that kind of thing, or at least talk to off the record, and then they can repeat it on their YouTube channel. But she said, you know, I just wasn't sure about them, but I've been following you for a while. She tells me this. And I don't think you would ever change the way you are, or all of a sudden you get real big or something, and then it's all about some other agenda for you or something, you know. And I'm like, absolutely not. I used to do this for free on YouTube until they allowed you to put advertisements on your channel, on your videos, which I tell you guys, that's why they're there. I hate to do it. I can't stand having to hit insert ad in my video. I hate that. But I get paid now for doing this through those advertisements automatically. So that's why they're there. I'm sorry I have to do that to you, but I do thank you for dealing with it because you're supporting me by doing so. And it's fantastic to have a little side income. It really is. So she said, I'm pretty certain I can ultimately get you in contact with this person. And I said, well, that's fine. In whether phone or Skype, or, you know, they can create a fake Skype account and a fake email at Gmail for free. We could do it that way. Obviously, we don't have to do the webcam thing. You just hit the voice only and we could chat. Or if they're old school, phone's fine with me too. And I said, you know, it sounds interesting. I would love nothing more than to have some kind of inside information like Lindsey Williams did. And again, with him, his old friend, the one that passed away, you know, what was it, 2012, I think? Ken Fromm. He seemed to, you know, everything he fed Lindsey was exactly what he said. And then after that, he said, well, I still got this other elite friend. And it just seemed like the information wasn't nearly on track as the other guy. You know what I mean? And I've done all his summaries of all his DVDs to date, ever since then and even before then. And it did seem like, you know, maybe this elitist just isn't giving him much, or maybe he doesn't have one. He's just saying he does, you know. And again, I've thought about that. So I thought to myself, man, would I love to find someone, you know, that could just feed me stuff, make me look like a prophet, make me look like a psychic. And I'd say the same thing Lindsay says. I'm not a prophet. I'm not a psychic. I know one of the elite. I'd love to be able to say that and actually give you something substantive when I say, oh, by the way, I just talked to my buddy, my new best friend. And my new best friend says X, Y, and Z is fixing to happen. So I asked her, I said, well, that would be great. And you know, we talked a lot about how people will come out and they sound good at first. No, this person has an insider on their show. And then all of a sudden, all these things they said never happened. Well, that didn't happen. Oh, yeah, but, you know, they have all these reasons why they didn't happen. And she says it just turns out to essentially be debunked. You know, it wasn't legit. So she says, this guy, you know, whatever. Again, I'm saying he for now until I verify from her, is it actually he or she? I'm going to assume it's a he. I mean, you know, the elite, the club, the guys at the top, they're all dudes. They're all men. So she says, this guy, let me back up. I asked her, I said, well, I don't mind doing this. And if this person tells me, you know, he tells me X, Y, and Z, and I say it on my show, I said, what I don't want to do is have a bunch of conversations with this person. And each conversation, I end up telling my subscribers, here's what was said to me. Oh, that fell through. Oh, that fell through. That fell through too. To where now my channel's not up to the standards that I like it to be at. Realist News. I'm going to report everything factual as I possibly can. And if I find something that turned out not to be, I'm going to say, oh, guys, that was wrong. Just like the Bitcoin thing. Man, I wish I got in on that when I was talking about not getting in on it, because it's this digital thing that could be stopped. The internet could go down. What are you going to do with it? Which still applies, by the way. But that didn't stop it from going to $1,000+. Right? I'd like to have done that one over. But I said to her, well, you've had information from this person in the past, right? I mean, he used to go to you all the time. Yep. I said, well, let me ask you this. Has he ever come to you and said XYZ is going to happen before it happened, gave you the advance notice, and then it happened just like they said? She said, absolutely. That has absolutely happened with this guy. So she's not into this anymore. She doesn't do the YouTube stuff. She had a real radio channel back in the day, doesn't anymore. Still has contact with this person. And only very recently did they reach out to her to say, essentially, I'm ready to talk. And it almost sounded like they've been given the okay to do it now, like right now. And it needs to say some stuff as soon as possible. And so I'm like, well, why is that all of a sudden? She said, you know how there's good guys and bad guys and everything. Even the elite, even these Freemasons and stuff, you know, these top Freemasons, we all think they're evil and everything. That's not the case. That's not the case. And this particular guy, club member, or, you know, I don't know how high level this guy is. I'm just going to call him a club member. Has sounded like he's been given the go-ahead from the good section, if you will, or good side of this, that we need to go ahead and expose this because we don't want to go where this is going. Even though we're at the top, we don't like where this is going. Let's start talking. That's, you know, and that's not exactly what she said to me in those words. That's how I was taking it, and the words she used, that's what it meant to me. So I'm just saying it like that to you because that's exactly what it sounded like to me. So I said, well, reach out to them. I'm down for this. I'm absolutely down for this. I will do it. I want to talk to the person, of course, and whatever they tell me, they want me to go out and repeat it. Again, this is confidential. I'm not going to mention any names, nothing. Just give me the information. I'll say what you have to say. Having said that, if I start getting some information, if this even goes through, if this person even decides, yeah, whoever this Jsnip4 guy is, let's talk with him. If that happens, and I start getting information that doesn't pan out, I'm not just going to throw it away immediately. Maybe some plans changed with the club. I'll get, you know, I spend a little bit of time to see where this goes. But if I get fake, oh, that didn't happen, nope, that didn't happen either. Listen, my brother, I appreciate you calling me, reaching out to me, and wanting me to be your guide, your spokesperson, so to speak, on the internet. But you've given me too many things that haven't happened. And my channel is going to start to get tarnished if I keep pushing this. And I don't want to do that. I only want to provide useful, highly informative well, information, if you will. Informative information, it goes together. But I don't want junky information. I want informative information. I want good information. Just like anybody, if you have bad data, bad information given to you your whole life, you're going to make the worst decisions based off of that information. Once you get the good information, you will then turn a milestone in your life and say, oh my gosh, things have now changed for the better. I've gotten better information. I now can vote properly like I used to not because I believe the mainstream media, right? That's good information. You now know that this is, nonsense, basically. And I want other sources or whatever. I want to be that source. So anyways, the point of this video is to tell you that I've been contacted by a lady, as I explained, who says she knows somebody at the top and has personally experienced very good information from this person in the past. She doesn't do it anymore, and they haven't really talked anymore about anything except for recently they reached out to her to say, we're ready to talk. We know you don't do your channel, your show or whatever. Who could you recommend? And I'm actually grateful she considered me out of some other choices that she mentioned to me on YouTube, all of which I knew, people I've listened to today. So, will this become something? I'm not getting my hopes up yet, and I don't think you should either. But if this pans out, I'm going to be telling you as soon as possible that I got some information. And however I need to relay it to you to let you know that this ain't old Jsnip4's information. This is someone that's solid. I'm just going to say it. Whatever's given to me, however it's given to me, if it's a Lindsey Williams thing, hey, I know we talked about this, and this tonight, but listen, those first two things, go for it. That third thing, not yet. Don't talk about that. You can bet your sweet butt Jsnip4 won't be talking about number 3. Number 1, number 2, yes. I will do exactly what Lindsey did. When they told me to shut up, I shut up. When they told me not to talk about that, I stopped talking about that. When they told me to take my website down, I took my website down. That's what he said. But he was always giving that information. So, fingers crossed that this is actually something with some substance and is going to be really good. I have no reason to believe it won't at this point. I've never had someone contact me like this to say anything. But at the same time, if someone's deciding to try to trick us all of a sudden and give me garbage information, we're going to find out soon if it's garbage information, and I'll stop it immediately. Listen, this is the 4th or 5th time. I thought I'd quit it 3 times. This is the 5th time you gave me something, and it's not even kind of close. Appreciate talking to you, but this relationship ain't going to work. Thanks for the calls, but we don't need to do this anymore. That's how that conversation will go. What I'm truly hoping for, and I know you are too, is that old Jsnip4 just found himself, thanks to this lady, a person in the know who's going to be feeding me some information that I can feed to everybody else in the world. That is very useful, etc. Only time will tell. Jsnip4 is out, and I've got one more video to do. Ex-Fed guy Paul Volcker explains why the Fed cannot raise interest rates. However, when I get into the video, understand why, if they do, why they did to crash the global economy. Take care.